What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with the legend of Morpheus. Morpheus has graduated from chasing Neo around and trying to find who the one is, when he's finally worked out that it is him. And he is in the blue color playing as Hades. Wait, I got it wrong! No! Strike! Cancel! Morpheus is over here! Morpheus is over here. His opponent today, the one to take down, the one who found the one, is Glautov. Ladies and gentlemen, the map is Blue Lagoon, and we are back with another episode of Low Elo Legends. This is where legends are made. This is where history is formed. This is where names are remembered. From William the Marshal to every player afterwards. I've actually forgotten all the names already. I was going to start ripping off names, but I can't remember anymore. William the Marshal. Shark, Space Shark. There's so many amazing low elo players here, and we need to learn about their story here. Morpheus, he might have some kung fu, but has he downloaded the Play AoM Mythology Good chip just yet or not? He's currently doing the stock standard 11 villagers or 11 population idle villager on the granary technique. This is a art form known as giving your opponent a slight advantage, a handicap. He's saying, I am too good for the mere mortals over in Glautov's camp, and I need to give him a little bit of assistance here by idling my villager for 30 seconds. That's what we call sportsmanship right there. We know Morpheus, he means business here. But what is Glautov going to be coming up with? Glautov going in with the classic storehouse placement right over here, and the villagers chopping wood very, very far away from it technique. This is known as Glautov's special. For those of you wanting to improve your storehouse placement, there is two things you need to remember. Not as hard as playing Egypt, which is 3 things. There's 2 things you need to remember. Are you putting the storehouse on a wood line, or are you putting it on a gold mine? If it's on the gold mine, you want a little sliver here, just as Glautov has perfectly executed. If you're on the wood line, however, it is better to wedge that right up next to the trees, and you shift click and spin your map around with the scrolly wheel in order to chop those trees down right next to the storehouse. Very important. But we are going to be seeing Glautov. Glautov is going to be showing us some Ares action, ladies and gentlemen. Morpheus, he's downloaded the strategy guide. He might not have yet downloaded the macro guide, the micro guide, but he knows that Athena is the most picked god right now for Zeus, and he's going to be getting his Jason out, looking for some relics and looking for some defense right now. 3 villagers on the temple. Morpheus, he's playing a game of AoM Mythology. What's better? What would you make as units if you were playing a game of AoM Mythology, if not mythological units? And he's going to be sending them at Glautov in this game. But Glautov on the other hand, he doesn't need those. He's already got himself the 3 favor. Perfect amount of favor there. Just enough to get himself Achilles with a little bit left over. And that's going to be able to defend against any sort of Minotaur spam. Meanwhile, we're also seeing the classic 4-minute goat gathering technique with husbandry. Glautov, you had a chance to make a name for yourself there. That's where you've really messed up. You're racing these goats without husbandry, and I'm crying. Nonetheless, relics on the map that haven't been picked up just yet. We've got Hecate's Torch over here, going to be reducing the god powers cost and cooldown to rebuy those. As Thundercloud Troll on the top here with that Pierce armor, and at the bottom here we've got the Pelt of Argus, as well as in the temple here, Fetters of Fenrir, a little bit of melee attack damage increase shenanigans. Up! And Glautov! He finds the goats and he steals them right underneath Morpheus's nose there. Morpheus was not prepared. Absolute action-packed game. Ladies and gentlemen, the thievery from Glautov is absolutely astounding. This man knows how to play AoM Mythology, and he is taking it to Morpheus in a big way. But Morpheus, he's already got 2 Minotaurs out. He knows he doesn't need that food because these Minotaurs, they cost gold. Does not need food, and he's going to make that happen. Military Academy getting dropped as well. Look at the macro. Look at the moves. My God, Morpheus, he has that macro chip installed, and he's going for very early Labyrinth of Minos, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to get even more of those Minotaurs out. Meanwhile, Glautov is saying, I'm not going to let you just sit back and do whatever you want. He is getting in and getting dirty with his units. The Minotaur's coming through to defend. We do have that Ajax in here. Very scary to be a Minotaur against that Ajax. And Glautov, the micro, did you see that? Did you see that? But Morpheus retreats very smartly, using that special ability onto the micro. He gets the special ability off, retreats back. The town center will continue to target Ajax down as Pestilence gets dropped down by Glautov. He means business in this one. The Minotaurs are going to be charging right back in to take out those Hippias right now. Glautov's macro slipping ever so slightly at the moment, having a little bit of golden wood at the moment. He might be looking for a second town center, as now the Cyclops is getting beaten up by the golden axes of Morpheus. Morpheus, he is on another level, ladies and gentlemen. He has saved the world, and now he is saving the Zeus Empire as well. But Glautov is out on the map. He's got map control. He's doing everything correctly with his army. He's got to find some villagers. Morpheus is getting away with murder, eating this elephant in the corner of the map right now. As more units are starting to pop forward, and we'll see what Glautov has in store for our main man, Morpheus. He no longer has Pestilence, and we see Morpheus says, Watchtower time. Watchtower time. Get everything out. Another Minotaur coming out. Morpheus is on top of his Minotaur training in this game. Look at the resources. They're so low. Is he getting any more? No. As now Glautov looking to engage. Yet again, he's now got his Achilles. And he is going to be taking those Minotaurs out. The Minotaurs. What is he doing? Morpheus with the misstep. He's got the decision making. He knows not to take a fight with pure Minotaur against two Greek heroes of Hades. As he picks back his units up, and he's now going to start making those military academies. He sees the Hippias and he says, what counters Hippias? Hoplites. What am I going to build? Hoplites. What are you going to get received with? Hoplites. Morpheus, he knows the strategy. Glautov needs to make an adjustment in the main base. We don't see any archery ranges, but we do see some very, very safe farms here. Glautov sees those Minotaurs and realizes those Minotaurs are very, very fast. I'm not going to be able to defend against those. I'm not going to leave my base. Very, very intelligent play. As the Minotaur is going to be taking out that big fat Cyclops there, but all the Minotaurs getting cleaned up here as the Heracles not microing onto that Cyclops finally does. Another Minotaur getting taken down as the villagers on this food are now the next target. Morpheus retreating back into his base. In his base, he does have a handful of hoplites waiting in reserve. The last Minotaur going down. Heracles going down. And Glautov wins the first big fight of the game. What is he going to be able to do with this victory at the moment is the big question. Watchtowers are up. Armory is up. Glautov is floating 1,300, 1,400 gold, 600 wood. He could drop 2 town centers at the moment if he wants to. Morpheus, on the other hand, has a lot of resources as well. Definitely want to be spending those as soon as he possibly can. Villagers idle on the chickens. Going to move back over onto those berries or over onto those goats here. It's definitely not a bad idea to be eating your berries. We do have a market now coming up for Glautov. As he's definitely thinking about the next stage. More farms are up. Let's take a look at the economic upgrades. Missing the plow at the moment, but he knows he's missing it as he's picking it up. Perfect play from Glautov. When you build farms, get those farming upgrades. It's vitally important. Right now, Morpheus. More hoplites coming through. 60 favor in the bank. What is he saving up for? He's got a lot of wood. He could go through Apollo here and start making Manticore. But the villagers, they're moving across the map. They've got an idea. And what better an idea than a second town center in the middle of the map? But Glautov is going heroic age. We see an armory coming up. He wants those armory upgrades. Down in the bottom side of the map, we're also seeing Glautov grabbing himself a second town center. And he is going to be off to the races. We're getting a macro game here, ladies and gentlemen. As both Glautov and Morpheus realizing their micro is on par with each other, and they're going to have to find a different angle to find their advantage in this game. In the main base here, we are seeing a perfectly adjusted economy. The only problem right now for Morpheus is he needs more military buildings. He also is going to need to chase Glautov to the heroic gauge. When he sees that Aphrodite, he will have a big shock. But the question is, what will Glautov really be able to do with his Aphrodite? As the villagers come up onto this gold mine and look at that Achilles. Fundamentals 101. Find your weaknesses in your position and act. That is the biggest fundamental in Age of Mythology. What is the weakness here? Minotaur raids. And he puts the Achilles on here, ready to defend that. I'd love to see some walls out here as well. Maybe a fortress getting dropped down. At the moment, no favor for Glautov, so he can't do that. But Morpheus now, he is going through Apollo. And we may just see all of that wood get invested into manticores. Is husbandry finally in? No husbandry. Husbandry, for those of you who don't, for those of you playing at home, on Legacy, this is actually me being a little bit serious at the moment. On Legacy, husbandry used to give around about a 7% increase to your food gather rate based on the amount of walking time that was reduced on average from 12 perfectly placed farms. About a 7% increase. On Age of Mythology Retold, 12 perfectly placed farms with husbandry is a 1% increase. Very, 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 very small. So not getting husbandry is totally fine. Though you probably should still get it, though it's going to take a while for it to pay itself off if you're just getting husbandry for farming. So use it as a bit of a grain of salt when you decide to grab that or not. And we'll see how things are going to go. As we've got the hoplites now swinging down to the bottom side of the map. The Nemean line going to be coming through here. And Glautov catches Morpheus out with that big roar, stunning those villagers. Morpheus maybe getting a little bit too aggressive as Glautov now up to 3 town centers. 3 town centers. We do have that Jason getting taken out as well. And Glautov is going to be macroing up a storm right now. The economy is going to skyrocket. He's getting himself a fortress in the middle of the map. He's claiming the high ground because he knows how important this is. Star Wars taught us a lesson, and it's high ground over everything. Don't try it. Darth Maul found out the hard way. As we do see that rhinoceros drawing blood onto a Morpheus villager there. As we're now starting to see those Manticore coming out. Morpheus here. 12 villagers on the gold idol. He's going to start moving them up onto this position. You've got 2 ways to control this, ladies and gentlemen. Little bit of a tip here. You can either grab your villagers if you ever notice your gold mine about to expire, or even at the very start when you've got a whole bunch of villagers on the gold, you can actually shift click them before that gold mine expires. If you ever notice it, it's always a good idea. Or you can just very simply just grab your villagers and go, as we're now starting to see Sword of Deimos. Nope, Deimos' Sword of Dread. I almost got it right. Deimos' Sword of Dread, as it looks like Glautov wants to transition into what? The counter units which Morpheus is building. Morpheus is going for hoplites. Guess what beats hoplites? The pacifists beat hoplites. Really, really smart play here from Glautov, as he then decides, instead of going for those military academies to build said pacifists, he's just going to say, I started building Hippias, let me continue building Hippias. I thought we were going somewhere with that, and we're not. We've got a whole bunch of Manticore out right now for Morpheus. He is struggling a little bit to spend those resources, but he's definitely got the resources to pump even more Manticore out. We see a whole bunch of armories coming up as Morpheus is planning for the future. Hephaestus, Forge of Olympus, very, very cheap armory upgrades. With 3 armory upgrades, you can get them all out really, really quickly. Maybe a little bit ahead of himself right now, but the food is coming in, the gold is coming in, but the Petropolis is now starting the siege on Morpheus's Ford Town Center. Glautov with 2,000 gold in the bank, just saving for the rainy day fund. If I've learned anything about budgeting, it's that it's important to always have a rainy day fund. And Glautov is taking real life advice and applying it to Age of Mythology. Let's see how it's going to go. As the Hoplites pushing forward, going to attempt to take out the Petropolis on this position. Manticore slowly starting to run forward to help out. Hoplites are going to be very, very strong on this one, as Glautov now has the resources to advance to the Heroic Age. Will he be, or not Heroic Age, Mythic Age, will he be doing it? Answer, not just yet, but we do have a Petropolis out for Morpheus on this one, ready to start firing back at Glautov's fortress. As now we see for Glautov still not a single military academy up. We'll see how things are going to go. This doesn't get affected by... No, it doesn't. I thought... for a second there, I thought Deimos' Sword of a Dread affects the Hippias, which actually makes sense that it would, because the spear affects the Prodromus as well as the Hoplites, right? But not the Hippias. Why not? Why doesn't it? The Hippias just has a sword. The Hippias could hold Deimos' Sword of Dread. Why not? Just saying. I'm not here to say buff Greek or anything, but maybe you could buff Ares? Anyways, Fortress getting taken down, and we do see Hephaestus is now in as the units here of Glautov pushing forward. Hoplites getting a great fight on this location here. As the Manticore looking to push forward at some point. Odysseus now out. He is now turning on his lifelong friend of Chiron. He watched Chiron get massacred in the saddest story in RTS history by a bunch of fire giants, and now he is going to be shooting Chiron to his death. As, look at the micro from Glautov! He sets the Petropolis onto the enemy Petropolis, takes that one out. The Manticore are getting cleaned up here as well. Lots of Hoplites are now queued up for Morpheus as he is attempting to hold on this position. The pressure is immense though from Glautov here, as he is going to continue to spam in those Hippias, and in the end of the day, Odysseus loses the fight against Chiron. As the Manticore going to be getting taken out, Hoplites pushing back. We will be seeing that Petropolis getting cleaned up as well. As the Hoplites now turning around. Going to be going after those Hippias in the middle here. And that Petropolis now still going to continue taking out that town center. But what Morpheus needs to do here is not panic. When you're in this position, getting sieged on, losing the town center isn't the end of the world. What you need is a bunch of military academies. Morpheus has 5. I don't know where they all are. As you can see a cheeky little bolt coming down onto the Petropolis here. Lots and lots of Hippias queued up for Glautov. Glautov knows. Just spam units and go kill your opponent. As the Petropolis slowly starting to push forward, going to be targeting this one down. We see Curse getting dropped down on the back here. As the Hoplites moving forward, going to start getting that damage done on the front as well. Villagers here, a little bit idle. Might want to get back to repairing that one up. Do we see in the armory Morpheus prepared for it? No, we do not. He's got the resources for it. 80 favor. He's got the gold, but he hasn't thought to grab it just yet. Spamming out those Hoplites. As we now seeing Pestilence coming through, going to stop the Fortress on the back there from doing anything, as more of the Colossi are going to be moving forward here, targeting down that Petropolis immediately. Look at that damage. Petropolis has only got 50% crush armor, gets taken down very quickly by the Colossus, which is going to be doing that 65 crush, 50 crush per second there. As the town center still standing strong. Bellerophon coming in, the hero of the Zeus civilization. The big one. Now in, going to be under a lot of pressure though, as the Hoplites still trying to hold on. Now we've got those Shades of Hades coming in. Village is going to be continuing to repair this one back up, as it looks like Glautov's macro is just too strong for Morpheus. Morpheus not spending his resources here, doesn't have anything in queue. Now we're starting to see copper shields, copper armor copper weapons coming through. One very easy way to get this macro happening from the side of Glautov is to hit Shift Q when you select all those barracks. I'm seeing him manually queue these up. It's a lot of APM to have to do that. As the Petropoli now going to be targeting down the fortress on that position. The hoplites are going to be turning around, taking out the heavy hippias on the back. Villagers getting sniped down underneath the town center. Fortress going down. Glautov sees blood, and he is going to be putting all of that pressure on. Meanwhile, in the main base, we've got a raid. Glautov has got that multitasking action, ladies and gentlemen. He can do anything in this game. And in this moment here, Morpheus says, it's not my day. He says, I'm going to go have to find Neo to take Glautov out. Glautov is on that agent level here, ladies and gentlemen. And the legend of Glautov begins. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I really enjoy doing these ones. And your support on these games. I don't know exactly what I normally do, but it means a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next game.